Hi, I'm Michael Boyajian, and I'm going to be talking a little about one of my series of books on my late wife Jeri's life with me over the years. And this book that I'll be talking about today is the UK progression, our whirlwind of love from London to Edinburgh. And again, this is based on our 4 trips to London and places that we went to outside of London on day trips. And then our final trip to the UK, which was to Scotland, to Edinburgh, and both the Highlands and the Lowlands. In any event, what I want to talk about is the museums. We were art patrons. Jeri was a long-term employee of the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and she was also a noted artist in New York. And she worked in many mediums, collage, wood construction, ceramics, photography, and even fiber, and was successful in each of those mediums, and was in quite a bit of number of exhibitions in Chelsea, in Soho, in the Greenwich Village, the Hudson Valley, and even in Europe. So when we went to places, museums were in our mind. But I want to point out, we did not go anywhere just for museums. Because in Jeri's own words, that would mean it was a busman holiday. And what is a busman holiday? It's an old term from the 1800s in England, where it was thought that, well, if you gave a bus driver a vacation, inevitably on that vacation they'd be taking a bus somewhere, so it'd be really like the person was still working, because they were a bus driver and they needed to take a bus on their tour. Anyhow, that was a term Jeri used. I guess that's Met terminology or museum talk, I don't know. But it had to be more than just museums at our destinations. But we did make sure we did hit all the major museums. And first and foremost, it was Paris. We hit the Louvre case, but that's another story. I'm here just talking about the UK. And that begins with the British Museum, really, which in the terms of one of the tour books is where the British Empire put all its stash. And it's true, they got everything in there you won't find anywhere else. You're not going to find an Easter Island statue that they have at the British Museum anywhere else but on Easter Island. And of course, they've got a terrific ancient antiquities collection. They have the Rosetta Stone. There's only one Rosetta Stone, and they got it. And the problem there was, for me at least, every time we went there, the African gallery was closed. So I think on the third or fourth visit to the UK, we hit it, and it was open, and I did get to see their African collection. And Jeri had the same problem with the National Gallery in London, where she wanted to see one of these Dutch painters' famous portrait. And 4 times we went. 4 times we went to the museum, and 4 times that gallery was closed. Never did get to see it, but that's okay. She's seen most everything of importance in the art world anyhow. The other museum in the UK realm is Tate Modern, which is terrific. If you can, take the subway to St. Paul's, which is beautiful, and get from there, step onto the Millennium Bridge, which is a pedestrian footbridge, which is beautiful. It's almost like, I think it's made of glass. And as you push towards Tate Modern, which is this old powerhouse building, utility building, they turned into the museum. Behind you, at the other end of the long bridge, is the Capitol-like top dome of the St. Paul's. In any case, you get to Tate Modern, and again, it's huge, vast, high ceilings and lots of space, and they've got a top selection of all modern art, or not just UK, not just USA, but worldwide, a worldwide collection. I mentioned the National Gallery again, that's important. Attached somehow to that building is the National Portrait Gallery, which again has portraits of notable British figures over the centuries, you know, kings, queens, and everyone else in between. That's worth a look. It's right there, it's right around the corner from the main entrance to the National Gallery. In Edinburgh, you want to check out the Scotland Museum. Okay, now part of the Scotland Museum is devoted to all things Scottish, and I really recommend that. Deep immersion into Scotland, going into that wing. The rest of the museum is a standard museum, which is still terrific. It's still world class. That's worth a look too. But if you're going there, first go to the Scotland wing, and then go to the rest of the museum if you have time. The other thing is, while you're in Scotland, yes, take a bus tour up to the Highlands. It's beautiful. If you can, if it's included in your tour, get on that boat on Loch Ness. It's a fun thing doing the Loch Ness Monster Tour. Real fun. And then one day go down to the lowlands, to Hadrian's Wall, the old Roman wall there. That our tour guide, who was a military man and a PhD in history, he surmises that no, it wasn't for defensive purposes. He thinks it was a customs barrier where if you were coming to sell your goods, you would stop there and pay a customs fee or something. It sounds reasonable to me, but you want to see that wall. It's, you know, comparable to the Great Wall of China. It was built by Emperor Hadrian, you know, during his reign. And while you're there, what I'm getting to is there's a museum in that area attached to a Roman fort, Vindolanda, and the museum is called the Vindolanda Museum, and it's a terrific little museum of Roman Britain. What got me writing about Armenian things was I had been reading ancient history since Jeri turned me on to it and I made a decision which I won't go into. But I was focusing on Roman history. At one point, I kept hitting these Roman Britain books, and there were like lots of them. And finally, I said, well, if they could write 20 books on Roman Britain, certainly I could write one book on Roman Armenia, which I did, and that led to a lot of other niche Armenian books from history, from Alexander the Great to the Indian empires. So check out that museum, because Roman Britain was an important part of the Roman Empire for many years. However, the way they signed off was they got a note from one of the emperors saying, we're pulling out, nice knowing you, have a nice day. And that's when things went bad on Britain for a while, when the Romans pulled out. Anyhow, that's enough on the arts. I think I've covered everything. Oh, wait, the one important museum that we both loved is an old school style museum. It's called the V&A, or the Victoria and Albert Museum. And it's got a terrific collection there, and it's worth a visit. And again, it's old school museum. It's not dusty or anything. It's just an old... They present things in the old style, and it's worth a trip. They got a nice cafeteria there, and that's the story. Anyhow, thanks for listening. Enjoy the book.